Yep, it's me again. They hate me, that's why they give a fuck about me at the same time. As always, I am your host, JD Miles. The MGTOWs, they love to hate. Even the ones that claim everybody loves to hate them, loves to hate MGTOW at the same time, which is why they keep us relevant to this very day. And I'm back again. For this evening's topic of discussion, in which y'all see the title, I thought it only happens in Colombia. No shit. That's the title of this video. Remember not too long ago, you had the passport haters sitting there celebrating and bragging about the passport bros being killed, being murdered out there in Colombia and all that shit. Well, they should have known that was going to come right back around and bite them in the ass. Especially after they claimed that, oh, these passport bros is getting murdered out in Colombia when they should have stayed in the U.S. because that shit doesn't happen in the U.S. Remember, those were their words, right? Well, it seemed like their words came back to bite them directly in the ass. Yeah, I mean direct. But before I go any further, shout out to O'Shea Duke Jackson. I'll leave the link to his full video in the description box. Go check it out. But without further ado, let's get down to business, shall we?
Back to talking about men who get scammed or get hurt trying to date. We typically think of this as something like a Colombian thing, something that happens out of the country.
I was chatting with a local girl. She invited me to her apartment with a friend. They wanted to cook a local dish, and I thought it would be a very nice opportunity to meet local people because I'm traveling solo. I didn't know anyone here. And yeah, I went to their apartment. Everything was fine. We were listening to music. We were talking. I didn't expect anything bad, but at some point they offered me a drink, which was like a soft drink, a pink soft drink, very sweet. I was drinking a few sips, and then after 10 or 15 minutes, I lost the control over my body, and from this moment on, I have like a blackout. I woke up in the morning without my phone, without my bank card, and then I somehow made it back to my hostel. I think I met a guy who paid a taxi for me because he said, dude, you got robbed and drugged.
Yeah, that's what happens to passport bro guys when they go overseas. Allegedly, that's a stereotype, but it really doesn't happen in the United States.
Stop the cap. No, seriously, stop the cap. And I'm going to tell you why. And y'all about to see why I said stop the cap. Oh, it doesn't happen in the United States. Yes, it does. Why are they capping? I don't know. But let's hear the news source, shall we?
Yeah, the victim says he was planning on meeting up with a woman for a date when the plan started unraveling. He says the woman asked if she could bring along a friend, and he says that's when someone opened the door to his car, went into the back seat, and then attacked him from behind. For Reed Chicas, it started out like any other match on a dating app.
You get a beautiful woman on a profile. You start talking to him for a little bit, and then he just agreed to go out.
He agreed to meet a woman here in a little more secluded area than he usually did in the past.
And I fell for it.
He says that's when she asked if her friend could come along, and he was ambushed.
He grabbed me from behind and pulled out a gun.
From there, he says they forced him into the back seat, driving him all over the valley, making him take out money, stealing his phone without a window to escape.
That thought ran through my head, jump out of the car and run. But at the same time, it's like, I don't want to get shot.
Eventually, they let him go, but not before taking his car, which they later ditched. Now, the couple, Michaela Herring and Joseph Oliveira, trading profile pictures for mugshots. As for Reed, he still wants to put himself out there, just not on an app.
It's ruined it for me, and I'm not going to go back to it.
Now, this guy...
Now, fellas, does any or all of this sound familiar? It should. Isn't this the same way how those passport bros got murdered in Colombia using a dating app? Using a dating app? But as you can see back here in the US, the shit is no different. You can use a dating app in the US, and guess what? The same shit can happen to you in the US, no different than it happens to the passport bros in Colombia. But wait, they claim that, oh, the US, they don't do that shit in the US like they do out there in Colombia, which is complete and utter retarded fuck ass bullshit. Yes, they do. And there are many cases. And there are many cases to it as well. Now, I would say this guy here was lucky. He managed to get through that horrifying ordeal with his life. But MGTOW Jackson is going to post another article of the same shit. However, the young man in that one wasn't so lucky. But we'll get to that later on down the road here. But let's continue.
This guy by the name of Reed Chicas, he was going on a date and everything was cool, but he got lured into a desolate area where somebody jumped into the back of his car, and it could have ended up being a lot worse. But again, that's not so common in the States. What if I were to tell you that it happens to young men, especially young black men? Imagine you meet a lady online and you think that, you're going to go out there and date her. She's telling you what things are going to be.
And this is the reason why no one should trust these dating apps at all. I talked about it. Others talk about this shit. I don't trust. I would rather meet someone in person, where I could talk to him face to face, eye to eye, before I trust anyone on a goddamn dating app. And here's the ironic part: while I was reviewing MGTOW Jackson's video, I think, Legion of Men actually talked about these dating apps and how fucking retarded they are. Don't worry. I'll also put the link to his video in the comment section as well, because I don't have time to make a reaction video to that. But y'all should definitely hear what the Legion of Men has to say about these retarded fuck ass dating apps and why you should not trust them. We don't trust these dating apps, period. Because 9 times out of 10 is either catfish or it's a goddamn setup. And on top of that, these dating apps don't do shit for men. I'm just throwing it out there. But let's continue.
She might even be sending you some pictures of those booty clappers. And you're like, well, look, I might not be getting what I need here. So listen, I don't mind taking a drive because I'm going to be able to clap cheeks. And you know how some brothers are. Hey, listen, man, I'm a strong dude. I'm tall. I play football. It's not going to happen, especially someplace that's not really lit like where I'm at. I'm from Dallas, right? Like, it's not going to happen, bruh. I'm going to go out here. It's a small town chick. She about to get her cheeks clapped. I'm going to drive back home.
3 people, including a teenage minor, are charged with capital murder.
Police say they lured a young man from Bedford to East Texas in order to rob him. His body was found in the trunk of a vehicle. Fox 4's Peyton Yeager spoke with the victim's family members and joins us now live. Peyton.
Steve and Heather, I spoke with Cameron Anderson's mother on the phone today. She is not ready to speak publicly, and she's still grieving the loss of her son. But she believes that her son went out to East Texas to meet up with a girl. That's where investigators say 3 people were waiting to rob him. Cameron Anderson's mother tells Fox 4 her son left this Bedford apartment complex on the evening of August 31st, and that was the last time she would ever see him. Hours later, on September 1st, the 20-year-old's body was found in the trunk of his burned vehicle more than 150 miles away in East Texas. An autopsy revealed Anderson had 2 fatal gunshot wounds. The 20-year-old graduated from Trinity High School in Euless and then enrolled in Blinn College. He moved back to Bedford, where his family lives. 3 people are now charged with Anderson's murder. 18-year-old Nathaniel Hall, Hall's girlfriend, 21-year-old Jasmine Williams, and an unnamed 16-year-old. On August 30th.
Wow, what a mugshot. But remember what these retarded fuck-ass passport haters say on YouTube. But it only happens in Colombia, in Brazil, in South America, in the Philippines, and all these other countries. They're going to drug you, they're going to rob you, they're going to murder these passport bros. Isn't that what the fuck they say? Oh, but it doesn't happen in the U.S. Isn't that what they also say? Fucking clowns. And guess what? It also happens in the U.S. too. So fellas, it doesn't matter whether you do foreign or domestic. Foreign or domestic, they have the same exact problem. So what's even the point of telling these men to stay in the U.S. with all that goddamn retarded fuck ass fear mongering when the U.S. is also dealing with the same goddamn problem? Oh, it only happens in Colombia. Yeah, y'all can have several seats to shut the fuck up forever on that matter. Because apparently the U.S. is no different than Colombia, especially when you got these lowlives using dating apps to try to lure and set someone up. No different than a passport bro going to Colombia and facing the same exact thing. Oh, that's right. Those same retarded fuck ass passport haters claim that it doesn't happen in the U.S. I keep on forgetting that's what they said. And again, their own words came back to bite them directly in the ass. Because look what happened to this young man. Same situation, just a different country. This didn't happen in Colombia. This happened directly in the U.S. But I digress from going on a rant. Let's continue.
31st, investigators say Anderson was texting Jasmine Williams, who was using Hall's phone the entire drive east from Bedford to Troop, Texas, 20 miles outside of Tyler. According to an arrest warrant affidavit Fox 4 obtained on Tuesday, cell phone records placed both Anderson and Hall's cell phones on the rural Rusk County road where the burning car was located. Once in custody, deputies say Hall made a phone call from jail to his sister, telling her to, quote, clean up. Detectives interviewed Hall's sister, and she said the night of the murder, the 3 suspects talked about doing a rip, which means to rob someone. Hall's sister also told investigators she heard at least 2 gunshots coming from the back of the home that night. Hall's sister later admitted to detectives she cleaned up casings from the shooting and later threw the casings out the window while she was driving.
Obstruction to divert justice.
Over the weekend, the sheriffs from both Smith County and Rusk County held a joint press conference, vowing to continue their pursuit for justice.
We're going to work extremely hard for them so they can be able to look these accusers in the face when that day comes in trial.
Investigators also say when Hall was arrested, he was in possession of a handgun and also an AR-15. Both were determined to be stolen. Investigators add that bullets from the crime scene match the loaded bullets that were inside of the stolen AR-15.
That, unfortunately, is a story of our young brother Cameron Anderson, who lived in a Dallas suburb called Bedford, Texas. Now, the young lady he was talking to, he had no idea that she had a boyfriend, and the boyfriend was in on it. They wanted to rob the guy, and maybe they didn't even get much. They were just stupid. And that's something you got to understand. A lot of criminals are stupid. The guy ended up incriminating himself inside the jail cell when he told his sister to go clean up. And they heard the whole thing. The reality is, guys, I know that you want to clap cheeks. Stop the show. Just don't be like Diddy, because you'll end up in prison.
Oh, boy.
Seriously, I know you want to date. I know you want to go ahead.
And that's how most people who are in this situation don't realize. Some of these stupid hoes on these dating apps, they already got boyfriends. Some even got husbands. They just on there to try to find their next victim. But remember, this is only supposed to be a Colombia problem. But now, fellas, we see that it's also an American problem. So basically, it doesn't matter if you get your passport and try to find love outside the country, or you prefer to stay in the States and try to find love here. By the end of the day, they all have the same problem. And at this point, these passport haters cannot tell us anything different now. Because after those two news articles, their arguments have been destroyed. Remember, they were the ones who said out thy own mouths that, oh, those passport bros going to Colombia, getting murdered out there in Colombia when they should have stayed here where they don't have to deal with the problem. Even if they did decide to stay in the States, guess what? That problem still persists, no matter how much or how bad and how desperate they tried to say otherwise. There's no running from that fucking problem. And yes, this video right here completely shoot these passport haters' claims directly in the foot. Oh, they murdering passport bros out in Colombia, they said. They should stay in the States, they said. Oh, they wouldn't, if they stayed in the U.S. and they wouldn't have to have that problem, they say. Fuck up. Have several seats, shut the fuck up forever, because it doesn't matter where you go. Doesn't matter where you go or who you meet. There's going to be someone that's going to set you up regardless. Whether you're in another country or in your own. Bottom line. But that's all I'm going to say. If y'all want to watch O'Shea Duke Jackson's video in its entirety, I'll leave the link to his full video in the description box. Go check him out. Tell him JD Miles sent you. But that's all I'm going to say for this matter. I said what I had to say. I'm done. We are done making these passport hating crybabies eat their own words. And I'm out this bitch. Later.